Today we are going to be discussing Charles Dickens, Our Mutual Friend. Alright, let's get started. Now, Charles Dickens had a interesting style in publishing his books. He published them every month, so that this way... These are the monthly numbers. Now, this way he could get his word out just in a little time frame so that people would want to buy his monthly number, because he would always leave them on cliffhangers.
Right. That way he wouldn't starve, because then he'd be getting a steady supply of money.
Steady supply. He became very wealthy, actually.
Yes. First of his kind.
That's right. Alright, let's dive in. Let's go to chapter 1.
Let's go for it.
Mac, why don't you lead us off with chapter 1?
Alright.
What did you think about it?
I really thought it was a really good starting to the book. They really kind of made you wonder what's going on. Like, not enough to make you think, like, I have no idea why I would want to read this book. It's more like suspenseful. It's shrouding it in mystery.
Right.
Like, why is this man fishing in the river? Then you find out he's fishing for money. Where do you find money in a river?
Yeah.
On a dead body.
On a dead body, and that's the key here. We see three of our main characters in this first scene, and we find out that one of our main characters is actually dead, and another one of our main characters is getting his body out of the river, getting coins out of it, and putting it back into his boat. Awesome. Let's see. Anything else from chapter 1?
I think that's about most of it.
That's about it. Awesome. After this commercial break, we'll be back for chapters 2, 3, and 4.
Brought to you by Rhodes Rolls. If they're not Rhodes, they're not good.
And we're back.
And these Rhodes rolls are so good.
Oh man, they're too good.
You know, that actually brings us to polysyndetons. Now, polysyndetons are use of excessive conjunctions to make it seem like the person who they're describing is too wealthy or such. And actually, on page 21, it says that one of the men that comes to the party at the Veneering home, he has, quote, too much rose in his face, too much ginger in his whiskers, too much torso in his waistcoat, and too much sparkle in his studs, his eyes, his buttons, his talk, and his teeth. I think that's a perfect example of how Dickens uses polysyndetons in order to capture the reader's attention that wealth is actually superficial.
And you know, that's not the only way he does it, because he makes a great use of the mirror in the house to show a real superficiality, something that the poor people in London and England that we're reading could pick up on, because it's literally just showing what's on the surface. And so I especially love the part where it talks about the crest of this new household, of the camels, because it really shows how biblically, how it's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Right. So I really like how he uses the biblical reference there as well.
Yeah, he does a good job. Awesome, let's move on to chapter 3. Again, I'm Jack, and this is Mack. We'd like to take a minute and thank our sponsors from Gaffer's Black Cherry Juice.
Well, the way he makes this specialty juice, he takes fruit from dead bodies he finds in rivers, presses them himself, and it creates this exquisite juice. Care for some?
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Welcome back. We're going to be discussing chapter 3 from Charles Dickens' Our Mutual Friend. Now, in chapter 3, it focuses on two characters, Lizzie and Charlie, and their relationship. Now, Charlie sees Lizzie as the motherhead figure, and as we learn, the mother of Lizzie and Charlie is dead. But Dickens does not tell us how she died. He just said that she died, so I just think that's kind of annoying that he doesn't tell us how he died, because that would have been probably pretty critical to the plot. And also, the other
mother in the story of the man from somewhere, she has very similar circumstances in which that we have no idea how she died or when she died at all. And so I thought it was something symbolic until I found out that story is actually a true story, because the man from somewhere I thought was fictional, and then we find out he's a real person that was the person that drowned. in
Wow.
part 1, chapter 1.
Dickens does a great job.
Does a great job.
Awesome. Let's move on to chapter 4.
Now in chapter 4, the introductory character is really interesting because he presents him, his name sounds like it would be a great name. But then he goes on to show that this guy has the exact opposite life. His clothing is terrible, his personality is terrible, and his body figure is described as such that he is just plump as all get out. Anyways, it seems that he is just beaten up all the time, that people just call him Rumpty, and that even his own school teacher, if he were to meet him, would have trouble resisting the urge to hit him repeatedly.
So we will see how that plays out in chapter 5 in the next monthly number.
Thank you for watching.
And we will be back. I'm Jack.
And I'm Mack, and this is Mack and Jack's
Thack Attack.